how to choose a replacement axle. So in your 6 Series John Deere, which includes 6000, 6010, 6020, 6030, 6M, 6R, all the way through current production, they all have similar problems, but we've got some new ones to kind of show. So we all know about the kingpin issue. And we're not here to sell you a complete axle every time, but we're going to give you some examples of when you have a major issue and it's time to consider a replacement. I'm going to give you the example why the part number for us doesn't matter as much. So the part number you have is important because that tells us ratio, tells us style, etc., and it tells us whether there's an upgrade. So as an easy example, here's a axle that this is an early version, and while it's a good axle, don't have a whole lot of problems out of it, it's actually, it's an upgrade from it's a 20 and 30 series axle. But when you get to the newer one, they've got a heavier tie rod, and they've straightened out the angle on this inner tie rod, which is always the one that wears out the most. So that's a good upgrade. So here we're going to show you where there's some newer is not always better. We do this all the time. So here's the inner shaft that goes into your differential. So some of this is going to be a little hard to see, but just kind of trying to give you the example of how much larger the one on the left is, which is not newer, it's older. And then when we go to the drive shafts or U-joints, significant difference in the U-joints in the older versus the newer. So this came out of a core. In fact, all of these, this small has come out of a core. They fit the smaller 6000, so 6105, 6110, 6115. That series uses a lighter duty shaft, differential, and U-joint assembly. So in that case there, if we told you that we would sell you an upgrade, the easy upgrade would be to actually take you back in years to a 6430. Now, that doesn't make a lot of sense by just talking about it and hearing the numbers and thinking about the year, but one, these are already rebuilt and they're ready to go. But when we show you the difference in them, now that's actually an upgrade. The older one was a better axle, doesn't fail as much, more availability, easier replacement parts because they're not so difficult as the newer ones. I mean, here's an example. That's a Dana 1, if you will. This is a Dana 1. This is a Generation 2, so it's still a 2-piece axle. And then this is the Generation 3, which is a 3-piece axle. So based on what you're using it for, most of the time it's going to be loader operation. Try to work with us, try to get you the best solution, which is not always the part number. So as long as we match up the ring and pinions, the ratios, as far as fitment, they all fit. So when we sell them complete, so there's no, where you get into trouble with these just trying to swap parts around. As the complete assembly, they're all the same as far as fitment. So if we can help you out, the axle serial number tag on yours, they're all in different locations, but there's going to be one on there. So that will help us identify which one you have. And then we can tell you the upgrade versions from there.